Hi, Scotty Alcon with Selig Film News. We're here with the writer and director of Closer to God, Billy Senese. Billy, talk to me a bit about where this story came from. I mean, I know a lot of people know about cloning and the issues of cloning, but where did Dr. Reed come from? Where did this story sprout from?
Oh, I was always attracted to to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and all the movies from the 30s. And that's really what it was. I wanted to do my own interpretation of that and kind of reinvent those same ideas and themes into a modern reality, something that we might actually face in our lifetime. So it really started with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I almost did an adaptation of that completely, but then kind of turned as I was writing and just kind of morphed into my own thing. But, you know, Dr. Victor Reed is the name of the character, Dr. Victor Frankenstein. The baby, the clone baby in the piece is Elizabeth, which is a key character in the book. So,
well, I'm curious on that theme then, since it's a story of transformation, I guess you would say, and can you talk a bit about that? You know, because there does seem to have that still in the script, even though you may have gone a little bit further.
What do you mean transformation? Like cloning?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't really. Cloning was interesting to me. It was a good jumping off point. I really didn't want to come down on one side or the other with it. I think you get pretty heavy-handed if you did. I was much more interested in the inevitability of progress. That's kind of where I came from. You know, there's a speech at the end that he gives. That it's like, you know, it's not a matter of whether we go down this path, because we are. It's how we meet this future, right? And I did a lot of research. Along the way too, and I ran across this great TED Talk with a geneticist, and he talked, and something that he said really stuck with me, that basically, make no mistake, if it can be done, it will be done. So to me, that inevitability is where I started from.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We were just talking about before we started rolling about Jeremy's connection to you. You talk a bit about that and how, you know, having friendships on sets, how that helps. This is a feature debut. You know, you went from shorts to feature. How maybe having a friend on set, knowing the people, Erica being there, you know, being a family setting, helping you do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that always helps, the familiarity, of course. And Jeremy, I got in these radio plays and was kind of cutting my teeth, trying to learn how to write. And I did about 7 of them, and he came on the last one. And then I decided to adapt one of those radio plays called The Suicide Tapes into a short film. And I worked with him so well in the last radio play I did called Flu that I said, hey, will you come on board and do this short film? And we just connected. It's one of those relationships where you just connect. And, you know, we did really well with that movie. We won Best International Short at Fantasia, which was a big deal. And we just, you know, we did a little bit of the festival circuit, and I sort of, you know, we just like I said, worked really well together. And he ended up doing a small part in Intruder, but when it came to this feature, he just seemed to me the perfect Dr. Victor Frankenstein, that perfect character. So I actually wrote the piece thinking about him, and then when I went to go produce it, I said, hey, will you come on as not just as the lead actor, but as a producer on it, and help me with the whole project, help me, you know, cast it, because he's got really great relationships with other actors in town, in Nashville. And so he really brought so much to this, and not just with his connections and stuff, but just with his heart and his soul, and just, I mean, him and I the whole way through, he was this. So it wasn't just familiarity, it was just his commitment to the project as well. He was on board from the beginning, and that's what helps, is just that 100% I'm in, let's do it, you know, and that's how you make a good movie, I think. So
Fantasia Film Festival has been a good one to you.
Yes, it has. Yeah, I won Best Screenplay. I went. This is my international premiere. We premiered in Nashville with Closer to God, and then we went to Fantasia for the international premiere, and we won Best Screenplay there, which was awesome. And then we went on to Fantastic Fest in Austin. So,
sticking with the Texas theme, Fantastic Fest, being able to bring it to Dallas. The South seems like, you know, when it comes down to the argument of cloning in this issue, the South has a specific view on it. Yeah. Is it nice to kind of show it here and to audiences that may have a specific view on it?
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because when I was in Canada showing it, they didn't quite get those hardcore protesters that I have in my film who, are some of those the extreme views that we see for real, in the South. And it was really interesting for some of the Canadians to go, that's that's interesting. You know what I mean? A lot of them didn't seem to get it as much as they do in the South. So
There isn't a Westboro church up
it's
in
Westboro,
Canada?
yeah, exactly. I don't think so, but it still played well, so that was good up north. But the South is, and I'm from here. I'm from Dallas, Fort Worth, actually. So
Is it nice then? I mean, I know it's a home crowd, but like you said, do you look at the reaction of the crowd to figure out how you're going to do a Q&A, how you're going to discuss it?
The reaction of the crowds come in when you're making the film, because when I have a process, and when I'm starting to edit and we're going through the rough cuts and everything, you bring in focus groups, you bring in people, and you see how they're reacting, and you play it in as much controlled things as you can to start seeing what's playing and what's not. And of course, your first big crowd, you're in there watching to see what you're doing. Does it work? Does it not work? What's playing? What's not playing? What's reading? What's not reading? But then once you lock down, and then you're pretty much in, and you're hoping that people are connecting. And so far, people are hitting those moments where I want them to hit. So that means I did my job. So.
Can you talk about the horror genre, the suspense genre, getting people's heart racing? I mean, as a filmmaker, it's got to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really into trying to, as Hitchcock said, don't just blow the bomb up. Show the people that there's a timer and that the bomb's gonna blow up, and then everybody sits and waits for the bomb to blow up, And you gotta tell them that the bomb's gonna blow up, and I did a lot of that. I mean, that was always really stuck with me, and I know a lot of people that when he talked about that, stuck with that. Other filmmakers in this area have stuck with them too. That you gotta show the bomb. Just don't blow the bomb up. So.
Who else are your influences?
Well, with this film in particular, I mean, I'm just into a whole lot of '70s film. I mean, Sidney Lumet was a big one for me in this one, which was weird, and Andromeda Strain. Robert
okay.
Wise, Nicholas Roeg, Don't Look Now, and Bad Timing were big for me with this one. A lot of people are saying this film reminds early Cronenberg. Scanners, of course, is a big one for me, but I'm a big fan of his as well. So.
That's interesting because having a film that has, people can have opinions about what it's about. Did that affect your writing at all? And it must have, but did it change any specifics about the plot where you were like, maybe I should switch this? Because you said earlier you didn't do it to make it a position film. So when you're writing the script and how did that affect it, or did?
Well, I mean, most of those reactions were afterwards.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was surprised. I did come from a '70s influence, so I kind of see where they're coming from. But a lot of people, they see, whatever they want to see. I was trying, like I said, coming from specific areas of an idea, like inevitability, perfection. I'm coming from these core areas and trying to make, those emotions go through. I wanted people to feel inevitability right from the beginning. They go, look, something bad's going to happen, and there's nothing I can do but kind of watch it go down. So I've worked really hard on those sorts of things, and not really thinking about. Of course, you're inspired by things, but in the end of the day, you're making this particular piece of art.
What's it like being a part of midnight specials and those, late night films? I mean, yeah, you're making a horror film, but when you're at a festival, people go in knowing that you guys are going to be the scary ones, the fun ones.
Yeah, well, it's always late. That's gotta drink a lot of coffee first off and stay up. No, it's great. I mean, it's really, my film is appropriately freaky midnight fodder. So it's perfect for me. I mean, it's like I want to be at the late night because I think it plays better.
Very cool. So. Well, I mean, just kind of final question, since you are a Dallas native, when you do come back, what are you excited to do while being here at the festival? And
oh well, I grew up southwest in Granbury, Texas, and I went to University of North Texas in Denton, and I lived in Fort Worth and Dallas. And so for me, I go straight to Tex-Mex restaurants. When I get back, Uncle Julio's is the best fajitas I've ever had, and nothing's been able to beat it for me. So, just going to, sushi restaurant we went to the other, I guess a lot of food apparently. So, but no, looking up old friends and such. So.
Very cool. Well, from one mean green to another, thank you for making this film,
yeah.
and I hope people get to see it. It's spooky and it's scary and it's fun and exciting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Billy.
All right, thanks. Great.